This episode of Nintendo Expansion Pass is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pop Black and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Expansion Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and nice excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hey Ed, how's it going? Somewhere out there. Someone's not as busy as we are.
Yes. Well, we're busy because we're getting prepared for PAX in 1 week. So by the time you guys see this, PAX may have already happened, and we have been to the event. So check out those events.
Yeah, it was great. I can't believe Nintendo announced the Switch 2 at PAX.
Oh goodness! I mean, that's another expansion pass because this Luigi Mansion 4 rumor is
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we're not getting into that right now.
Right. That's why I went like this. Cause yeah, we got a date for Mario and a date for Dark Moon Luigi's Mansion 2. So that was Mario Day on March 10th. But Corey, you had a topic you would like to discuss, and I'm intrigued.
Well, it's not really a topic, Ed. It's something that we talked about the other day. Ooh, excuse me. On a couple episodes ago at some point of Pow Block. But I'm in this gaming conundrum. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I have been looking and making my famous lists and looking at stuff online, and I came across a few things which I'm really excited to maybe get in here in the near future. I found really cheap versions of all the Xenoblade Collector's Editions.
So, oh, nice.
Yeah. Maybe try to snag one or three of them. But I've just been trying to find the gaming balance here, Ed. I'm having this internal gamer struggle, if you will. Okay.
Yes.
Too many things to play, too many consoles, too many thoughts about physical versus digital, and if I made the right choice, and certain companies are playing with that choice that I thought I made the right one, and now I don't know if I'm making the right one. So now my brain is scrambling to fix said non-problem problem, and I just want to know if you've felt that gaming conundrum, or if you felt that gaming string pulling at you about different things, you know?
Well, for me, not really. It definitely, knowing that I got so many games across so many systems, I know that, I gotta play my Nintendo definitely for, not just for podcast sake, but like I gotta keep up with all things Nintendo and play their games and try to get through them. And sometimes my mood or my feeling might change. I might be discussing something, so I gotta focus on the game. I know that if I play too much Nintendo, then I'm ignoring my Xbox and my PlayStation. So then I know I have to stop playing Nintendo for a bit and then jump into it. When it comes to literally buying games, I'm still physical on all platforms. Like no matter what, unless it's a digital version only, I would get that digital version. But if I'm able to get that physical version, I'm getting straight physical. I think with digital, because Xbox and PlayStation has a limited space and they want you kind of to pay for more space, or you know install something to have more space. I kind of
I
had
mean,
to.
Switch has no space, so I'm
Well,
really interested to see where you're going with this.
because I think of the micro SD card in there, games could go into that card before it hits the system. Like you can decide where it goes, and you got up to 2 terabytes. And so I guess because games are not doesn't have so much space to them on Switch, I could definitely, whether I go digital or physical, um, I don't have to worry about the space. Definitely for cartridges, I don't have to. But if I'm getting something digitally and something, I know it could go to my SD card first before it goes onto my system. Um, and then my saved data, if I need to transfer it, all of that goes into the cloud because of the NSO. So, but with Xbox, yes, even though my data automatically goes into the cloud, I have to take games off and on there, and that I have to wait for more installing times and stuff. So I kind of like, if I install a game, I really need to be committed to beating that game, getting all that I can out of it, and then take it off and then put it in the box until I need. So I know that if I have a 200 gigabyte game or something, I know I got to take half of my library that's already on my Series X off so I can put that one game on. Uh, so I don't really have a conundrum with it. It's just I know that if I play a game, I need to start being more committed to it and working straight through it. Even when a lot of new games come in for me to talk about.
Well, thanks for making me not feel better about how I feel, Ed. So the reason why I bring this up, I guess, is because I I feel like I'm really struggling with, I guess, I, gamer identity is such a dumb phrase, but like I've been, I think I've been focused for so long on trying to fill gaps that we need here
Mm-hmm.
that I've almost forgotten how much like what I enjoy. Like, you know, okay, well over here we need a we need to fill the Xbox hole over here because we don't have anybody that is like strictly Xbox on anything. Like Xbox doesn't get any love from anyone primarily,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um so I'm over here trying to fix, fill that void, or we don't have like when Standard F was going on, we don't have any entertainment style podcasts, right? So
Yes.
let's try that. Or you know then over here, we the Boss Rush podcast is a topical conversational podcast, which is fine, but we don't have a news podcast. So do we spin that up? And it's like, then I sit down to play games and I'm like, I don't know what system to focus on because I have this show over here and this show over here and trying to fill this over here. And I feel like I've been doing that for so long
Mm-hmm.
that I like, as a gaming as a person, I feel lost, right?
What?
I just feel like I don't know what to do
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, I know what I want to do, but my mind automatically goes to, does this benefit the content? Does this benefit
It's
the podcasts?
and I think it's and a lot of people do this, gaming for content, just something I have to talk about, and not gaming for enjoyment. I think I think definitely between me and you, I think sometimes we miss that we'll game something so we could talk about it on a podcast. So we're gaming for content. But then there should be times that we're really just gaming for enjoyment. And it's kind of hard to separate that. Now, yes, a lot of us here on Boss Rush on Xboxes. Um we don't talk about it a lot, um, due to the fact that, and it's not just about having an Xbox podcast. It's just that when we talk about Xbox, we share it on our social media and Discord. We have those kind of discussions and stuff. And yes, we do talk a lot about Microsoft and Nintendo because those two, even with their good interactions and good business and deals, they both affect each other in certain ways, and most of the effect is going to fall on Nintendo because of, like, Nintendo sometimes can make a company look good or help them in business, and since Microsoft been doing that, uh we've been talking about Microsoft in a good and not so much negative light, but in a light of trying to figure out what they are going to do next and if their plan is going to do it. And because we want, like we said, even though we are a Nintendo podcast, we want all these companies to succeed. I want Sony and Microsoft to succeed, but I just don't want them to let other people down, which affects them from succeeding and everything. Nintendo. We keep saying that Nintendo sets their own path, yes, but um Nintendo still gets overlooked for a lot of stuff, regardless it's a success or failure or whatever. They still get overlooked unless they're doing something that gamers don't like. That's when Nintendo would be brought up. But like Sony and Microsoft, whether they're doing good or bad, they don't get overlooked. They get talked about. They get the content, they get the marketing, they get the gamer tweets and community getting in. They're getting the best games. Um they're getting the spotlight still, even though they're not doing as good as Nintendo. So when it comes to playing games, uh for Xbox, we show people that yes, we are Nintendo gamers, but we do also play Xbox because Xbox do have some stories they want to tell through this medium, and we got to recognize that.
Yeah, I just when I'm I don't know, when we first started all this the third time, um I always felt like obviously we were Nintendo first, and then Xbox was secondary for me, and then PlayStation was tertiary. But I just I have felt like I have been forcing myself to, like I said, fill a gap that we have, like the Xbox gap. And as much as I love my Xbox and playing on my Xbox, I just feel like I feel like I don't know, man. I've just been really struggling, and there's other things going on that is probably impacting this too. But I I feel like my focus has been like I haven't been focused on anything.
Hmm.
Like I can't keep my focus on anything, which is then making me unfocused when I go to play games, which means I don't, I'm unfocused on what console to choose.
And definitely, I think with Nintendo is that whatever games that you think that you're going to get some enjoyment out of, um, or games that you like on Nintendo that you're hyped about or you really want to get into, regardless if it's meet your expectations or not, I think Nintendo has a lot there to offer. I think with Xbox, since you have Game Pass, you do have a wide variety of games to check out. Definitely from just the first party stance. And it depends on, you know, what goal do you want to have for each system? Not in a content way, more as in do you want to go through a game on Xbox or Nintendo for story, for gameplay, for the experience, for something for yourself? Where if you, it's up to you if you want to talk about it on a podcast or whatever, or if you just want to have something that you personally enjoy and everything. You know, I yes, I play games for like I said, for content, but there are games that I literally play for myself that I don't talk about on any podcast and stuff. Like people could see like a lot of my tweets and stuff. Just the way that I do movies. Sometimes I do commentary about things. But you know, if there's a game like I'm installing Quantum Break and stuff because I want to go to that game for myself and everything. I'm not going to really talk about or write about anything from it, but I want to replay that game for myself for my enjoyment. You know, I do that with a lot of my Xbox games that I play for my personal enjoyment or to get something out, you know, just to have something different, somehow have some variety. Because when I get back to my Nintendo stuff, I'm hooked in. I literally been taking my Switch with me to work and playing games on there, just you know, just to kill time when I'm on lunch or something, you know. Uh, so I think
Yeah.
it's going to be up to you. Do you want to play something just for your enjoyment, or do you want to play something for making content, or just to have something say that you did play something? That option is always up to you.
I know, and I've been struggling with that again, right? Where like I don't even remember the last time I played something for myself,
Hmm.
really. Like in a meaningful way, because of, we have book club and we have um obviously this show we got to focus on Nintendo stuff and other, I have a Destiny podcast, so I got to try to keep up with that. And I am really trying to shift my focus. Like I said on Pow Block, like the recent Pow Block, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, this was weeks ago at this point by the time anybody hears this, but um I I feel like I need to do better at being better for Nintendo Power Block specifically because A, it's our, it's the show. It's the show, right? Like it's our
Yes.
show. But also like it's also the show that I think needs the most focus and the most time and the most energy. And also the Switch is my favorite thing that I own right now and play, right? And I play, obviously I play my Xbox a lot. Like that's not like a secret or anything, but like I had the option to play Final Fantasy 7 on Switch or on Xbox, and I chose Switch because I would rather play it there, right? Or
Hmm.
um some of these other experiences. So like I don't know. I know I've kind of tried to position myself as the Xbox person here, and I've really tried to do that because it's a void that we have, but I don't want to. I don't. I don't know how to how to explain it. I guess like I don't want it to feel like I have been faking my love for Xbox because I
Hmm.
haven't, and I think people know that. But also like my f- my first love is Nintendo, right?
Right.
And so I think for me, what I really need to do is I would rather be playing my Switch and watching TV or something. I would rather just be doing stuff like that. And I I know what I want to do, I think, in my head. It's just the execution of it is going to be something that I need to challenge myself to just do. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network. So,
I know one thing. Like for me, you know, everybody knows the like Corey, you know that I have my backlog bash over the summer. And I did that for optional opinion, and I sometimes still do it, where I I pick 4 games, and for every 2 weeks, those 2 weeks are dedicated to that one game. And then I, after those 2 weeks are over, I go to a next game. And I started doing this because I wanted to make sure that I'm fair to the systems that I own and everything. And I started doing it with all my Nintendo games. I did it with my Xbox games. I did it with my PlayStation 4 games. And regardless if I beat it or not, I at least I put all my focus, time, and energy on one game. And I wasn't jumping around or anything, and I was doing that for 2 weeks, and this was just in the summer. Like, that's how really I got through the Gears trilogy for 1 year. Like, I had the Ultimate Edition for Xbox One, and it came free with 2 and 3 and Judgment. And I had that for a long time. And the summer came, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and play the Gears game. I want to see why Shu gave it a 10. I want to see why the series is so beloved. And I sat down. I played each game on normal. And that's how I got into the Gears series. I'm like, okay, I see what they're going for with this. Some some parts I could I could discuss and disagree with people, but I took the time to do that for myself, and it was so enjoyable that I missed it when it came out, but I'm glad I was able to go back to it and see the whole story for what it is and everything. And so maybe, like, if you want to set a goal for yourself, you can. Like, if you want to do a 2 week goal or something, you can. Like, that decision is really up to you. I did that with Medal of Honor, the reboot. I did that with Battlefield Hardlines. Like, games that I just had that I knew I needed to play. I put into my Xbox, and literally, well, Battlefield Hardlines I did for Xbox, Medal of Honor I did for PlayStation 3. And I took the time to play these games and be like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate 2 weeks to this game. I think that's all I need. Definitely with work being evolved and other things, I need to sit down and play this game for myself and everything,
yeah, I kind of look at stuff that I want to do and have wanted to do, and I think I finally have some sort of setup that I will be able to do some of these things, right?
Hmm.
But I wish, like for example, I'm really enjoying. I just played Hellblade on Switch, and it was an amazing experience. One of my favorite experiences in a long time, actually. Um, and I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now because of the hype around Rebirth, and just seeing it all, and really, like the hype of Rebirth, but B, like Final Fantasy VII is a massive hole in my gaming knowledge.
Hmm.
I mean, like, I know the characters, and the story obviously is I mean, not to spoil it here, because I that game is almost 30 years old now, and I know people have probably not played the original who are playing remake and rebirth right now, right? But like, that story moment in Final Fantasy VII is like the Darth Vader moment. You know it even if you've never experienced it, right?
Yes.
Um, so I've been playing that and really enjoying it. And then I've been playing, this indie game that I heard about last summer, and I've wanted to play it ever since then, called Bat Boy, which is essentially the Shovel Knight sequel we never got. And it's amazing. And, I'm having these great experiences, um, but I feel myself being pulled away by other things. Like, we have to, for video game book club, we have Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons coming up for book club for next month, and I'm like, not to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not like really interested to play it at all. But it's something that I have to do because it was voted on for Patreon, and um, and I look at the other things that like I kind of wish we were doing, and I think we're going to start doing after PAX. But like when they announced those, the Game Boy games for the Mario Game Boy games that were coming
Hmm.
on Mario Day,
Yeah.
like I would have loved to like record like a full like a let's play of all of them, right, and posted it, right?
Yes.
And like those are the types of things that I would love to do. And for me to do that, I'm going to have to do like really do less, like really like look at what I'm doing now and face the fact that like I can't do everything anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm not proud of everything that we're doing. I am. I want to do everything. I want to do more. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, right? Like sometimes less is more. And, there's other things that I'm doing outside of Boss Rush that I am going to probably end first because this is way more important, right? But there's certain things that I would love to do too. Like I would love to spend more time like playing games, but also like getting deeper into discussions for expansion pass instead of having these like surface level discussions
Yeah.
sometimes. And you know I mean, do we go back to doing that every other week? Do we do it once a month like book club? I don't know what that answer is. um I don't know what that looks like. All I know is that like across the board, I feel like I haven't been doing enough for our shows proper, uh but also I haven't been doing enough for myself. But at the same time, I don't know what that looks like either, doing something for myself. So like, I mean, we'll be at PAX, and we're going to PAX in a next week actually. I mean, and
Yeah.
obviously it will have already happened by then, but uh that week we're all taking that week off after PAX to recharge our batteries, and I think I'm really gonna sit and assess what's working, what's not, what needs to change for me personally, and try to figure out what kind of person I want to be for this content and for myself, and see where that middle ground is, because I really haven't found that middle ground you know
That's understandable. Yeah.
uh, I mean, also like dealing with a bunch of other stuff right now, and moving, and mentally some other things have not felt right, and work's been busy, and not sleeping a lot, and it's all like kind of, and I know like to this to the person who's listening to this, it's like, you sound like a crazy person, just play the games you want to play. And ultimately, yes, that's the idea, is play what I want to play wherever I want to play it, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But also in a sense, it does matter a little bit. And so I just want to figure out what I can do.
Right. And I think
Sorry, my wife
sometimes,
texted me.
and I think you don't have to overthink it. I think you just, 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 I think you just I think when you analyze it and everything, you'll get your answers, and then you could go from there. Um, you know, I'm still I look at my Xbox and I look at my Nintendo and I look at my PlayStation, all the games that I have for the systems, and some that I told you that I'm like, man, I got games that's still in the wrapper that I need to play and everything. And I'm starting to learn to be like, you know what? Let me take it out the wrapper. Let me play this game and make my way through it and everything. Uh
Yeah.
and stuff. I know one for me is definitely uh like one of my goals is definitely to, like I said, get back into the indie scene and playing those games. Um, but really just trying something out new um this year, or try to find a story driven game that I completely missed that I need to get my hands on. Like, you know, I'm trying to experiment out and everything outside of Nintendo so that I can play other games and be able to talk with other people and listen to podcasts and stuff, and be like, hey, yeah, I might be asking these questions related to Nintendo to y'all podcast, but I'm like, when I talk about PlayStation or when I talk about Xbox and I have experienced the game that are talking about, do you think this and that? And stuff. And so I'm like, in order for me to get to those questions, I'm going to have to play those games on those systems and stuff. Because I can honestly say I don't consider myself as a hardcore gamer anymore. I just consider myself as a gamer and stuff.
Hmm.
You know, I play what I want to play. Uh, Sometimes play games that I need to play. um, and just be ready for discussions whenever they come up, you know. And like when it comes to recommendations and stuff, um I try to recommend people something that is out of their wheelhouse, out of their comfort zone, something that they won't believe, that they'll look at me crazy. But I'm like, play it for yourself. If you say that you want something, if you have so many expectations and things that you like about games, and you just diss another game because of review scores, what other people say, I always be like, go out and play games for yourself. I I'm not going to bring up that one company name, but people know that if I say something about them, I have their game, I have played it, I got proof. Here's the picture, you can see it. I'm like, so I know that what I play in, what I want to talk about, you know, I hopefully I could convey that to people, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I feel it's been bothering me for a while, and I just haven't kind of let out my thoughts because I've just been, I kind of I don't really know when this started, to be honest with you, but like I
A couple of
knew
weeks
like
ago.
no, it was more than a couple weeks ago. It was
Oh,
probably like Thanksgiving or before that. And I don't express my feelings a lot, Ed. I don't know if you know that or not. But um I just figured, I will figure it out after we move and after um certain things are done. And and now that I'm here, I need to, I just want to figure it out and see if I can make it all work, and I want to see if we can make this better by not to sound like I'm doing everything, but like see if I can do less, and less is more, and see if we can build a better foundation for our foundational shows
mm-hmm.
while making sure our secondary shows are also better. So, I mean,
Yes,
we've taken the first step this year of um spotlight interview episodes are taking they are in the regular Boss Rush podcast rotation now, right? They're not separate episodes. So
Yeah.
recently, Pat and Stephanie interviewed Togi. Um, I don't recall who they're interviewing from there, but that's why we're recording on the Pow Block Zencaster account tonight, not the Boss Rush run. But also, like, we're talking to Way Forward on Wednesday. We're going to be talking to Atari at PAX, like, and other companies as well. But like, it's that's the first, that's one step in that direction, right?
Yes.
Uh and Video Game Book Club, we've kind of given it the work of, like, once we, like, were scared that Persona 3 Reload was going to win the voting last month, which it didn't. It lost by one vote to Hellblade, I think. Maybe it was Uncharted, I don't remember, one of those. We decided, hey, we should probably keep Video Game Book Club to shorter story driven games like,
Hmm.
Hellblade and Uncharted and Tomb Raider and stuff like that, right? So hopefully that'll eliminate a lot of that stress too, having these shorter, 8 to 12 hour experiences for book club. And I don't know, those are two steps we've started to take, but there's other things that I need to do too. So, and I know this
Yeah.
is boring, a boring episode for people. I'm sorry if you feel like this is boring, but at the end of the day, I just want us to be the best, and
Yes.
I feel like overdoing it and not, there's there's a thing I heard the other day. There's a couple things I heard the other day. So obviously there's a quote, the jack of all trades, the person who is good at everything, right?
Yeah.
But the second part of that quote doesn't get said often enough, which is jack of all trades, but master of none, right?
Hmm.
And you can be good at a lot of things, but in order to be great at things, you have to narrow down what you want to be great at and focus on that. And yeah,
Yeah.
there's things on the side, there's other things over here, and you can work on, or this little thing over here, but at the end of the day, is
What's
that
that one
the
thing you
most,
want to master?
you work on that when you have time, and you need to focus on these other things to make them better. So I need to make myself better. I need to make the shows better, and I need to adjust I need to take better steps in adjusting our content to make it better too.
Hmm.
So, and like that includes, like, not doing our social media while we're recording at some point. That includes, not editing one podcast while we're recording another, or, uh, sending emails to companies while we're doing an expansion pass or a book club or an after dark, right? Like there's and those are little things, right, that I just need to focus, and I've done some of that tonight too, where, like, I'm trying to answer some messages from, because I mean, we're going to PAX, so I need to get these messages out because we need to schedule. But, like,
All right.
I need to stop doing that too. I need to really just key in and focus on things. So I hope we can do that. I hope I can do that. And I don't know. I feel like I need to refocus on everything, and I have not been good at that. And that's made me feel like our shows aren't where they're supposed to be. And I think we've taken a good step with Pow Block in the last episode or two.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
but we
been
got to
more
keep going
Nintendo
that direction.
focused on our own power block, I should
Yeah,
say.
I mean, that I don't really care if we talk about other consoles on Power Block. I don't care, but, like, it's more of, like, let's talk about these deeper or less known news stories. Let's really research the Nintendo side of things. Let's
Yeah.
really get in there, and the other side. How does this PlayStation decision affect Nintendo players, or whatever, right? Like, let's really be better about the Nintendo stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why, if everybody know, that a couple of weeks ago we had a close to 4 hour podcast, but we were focusing a lot on Nintendo. I mean, we was focusing on some
Mm-hmm.
other stuff, but like we was having those conversations that that made it long because there was so much to say about them
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, and like for me, like I really love those types of I love long podcasts. That's
Mhm.
my favorite thing. A lot of my favorite podcasts are 2 or 3 plus hours long, sometimes longer, Uh the Jeff Gersman show is 3 to 3.5 hours every day. Next Lander is 2 to 2.5 hours on Thursdays, right? Sacred Symbols 2 episodes ago was 5 hours long, and it was awesome because I felt like I could, listen to that show and it would waste half my day. And so, I don't know. It's just those are the types of shows that I want to do where they really get into the nitty gritty of what they're playing and get into the the deepness of the news and
Mhm.
get into questions when they have questions to answer. Uh, and that's what I want. That's what I want for this show. And I know some people don't like long podcasts, but like I don't, I don't want to cater to that either because we want to make the show we want to make, and the audience, whether the audience enjoys the long podcast or not, the audience that does enjoy that will come, right?
Mhm.
And if it's too long for you, I'm sorry, but that's the thing is that I guess the long and short of it is I'm tired of shorthanding our podcast for a lot of reasons. And yeah, sorry, I just feel like I'm talking in circles now. I just want everybody to know that like I've been feeling a certain way, and it might come up on After Dark in another kind of real way later on, but it's something that I need to get through, and then I need to focus on this. Like I'm circling PAX as like the let's like this is where we take it to the next level now.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully that's happened a little bit by now, by the time you guys are hearing this. But, you know. So,
Yeah.
anyways. Sorry, Ed. I was ranting. I used this entire expansion pass to rant about how
No, it's
about
your,
myself.
sometimes it's your therapy, and that's good. So, with that, everybody, we will see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.